Warning. I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
We're having trouble. They kept telling me that I was turning my microphone off while I wasn't.
So Mike, take a look at the way she walks. Come on back. You can see how when she walks, her left foot toes in. Oh, there it is. Okay, walk back again. So watch her left foot. Her left foot totally toes in compared to her right foot. Come on back. So it's almost like her right foot toes out and her left foot toes in.
Dude, put that fucking finger away. The U.S. gymnastics sex abuse scandal is a series of criminal activities involving sexual abuse of female athletes, including minors, by Larry Nassar, a former USA Gymnastics national team physician. He's named in hundreds of lawsuits filed by athletes who allege that Nassar sexually abused them under the pretense of giving them medical treatment. Since the first public allegations were made September 2016, over 140 women, including former USA Gymnastics national team members. Nassar pleaded guilty to federal child pornography charges and was sentenced to 60 years in prison December 7, 2017. USA Gymnastics and Michigan State University, where Nassar was a faculty member, have been accused of negligence and are named as defendants in civil lawsuits that former gymnasts have filed against Nassar.
This morning, dozens of Larry Nassar's victims will have their voices heard in court. Sentencing for the longtime USA Gymnastics team doctor follows his guilty plea in November to sexually abusing multiple girls.
How do you plead?
Guilty.
Nearly 100 of Nassar's accusers are expected to give victim statements this week.
I've known Larry since I was really young. I think I worked with him the most from probably ages 11 to 18. And within that 7 or 8 year time period, I saw him on average probably 2 or 3 times a month.
The disgraced doctor will be confronted by other victims face to face, like Rachel Denhollander, the first woman to publicly accuse Nassar of abuse.
To finally see justice coming for him is very healing.
Now what's interesting is, walk this way.
Wait a minute, you hear that?
Boop,
boop, boop, boop, boop.
Onto the table, lay down your stomach. Thanks.
One of the treatments that he would do, which are the treatments that he's accused of using as an excuse to sexually assault girls, among a lot of other accusations against him. This treatment is where he would rub out your back or your hamstrings with one arm or one hand, and he would use his other hand to do pressure points or massage on, in, around your genital area. And yes, I say in because, at least in my own experience, it was invasive. I know a lot of other girls said that it was invasive for them as well, meaning that he would actually put his fingers inside of you.
Three-time Olympic gold medalist Aly Raceman makes the incredible look effortless. The captain of the gymnastics team that won back-to-back gold medals. First with the group dubbed the Fierce Five in 2012, and again with the Final Five in 2016.
We're very excited. It doesn't really feel real.
But now the 23-year-old gymnastics star is speaking out about alleged sexual abuse at the hands of her team's doctor, opening up in her new book, Fierce, alleging that Dr. Larry Nassar, who now faces 22 counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct, abused her.
All right, so Dana, come on over here. Hold the camera so we can get a good view of her hips. All right, so when I check her hip, this is her right hip. So this is how much hip toe in she has. Okay, and this is how much hip toe out she has. So she has more toe out than toe in, which is normal.
And to be clear about this, it was skin-on-skin contact. He would go under your clothing with no gloves on. And I think I was around 13 when I had these treatments done, so I was extremely uncomfortable with this.
It's disgusting on so many levels. He was there to heal our bodies, and all he did was hurt us.
I would lie on the table, my hands involuntarily balling themselves into fists as his ungloved hands worked their way under my clothing. Treatment sessions with him always made me feel tense and uncomfortable.
Therapy and all the stuff that we've done down here might not be as effective because it's coming from here.
I went into the office alone with him, and Before the treatment happened, he asked me if he could videotape himself doing the treatment on me. But to be very clear about what he was asking as a 40-year-old man, or however old he was, to videotape himself touching a 13-year-old girl's naked private parts.
Yeah, I always thought he was weird, but I just thought he was weird. And I want people to know that I really didn't know it was happening to me. You know, he was a doctor and he told me that his treatment would help heal all of my injuries. And I was so young, I had never really worked with another, you know, doctor or trainer before, and everyone said he was the best. He would give me these gifts, so I really thought he was my friend, and he always seemed like he had my back. You know, he was such a master manipulator, and I think that's what's important for people to understand, is that these monsters are so good at manipulating you, so you're so brainwashed to think. I thought he was so nice.
You call him a monster. You think that of him?
I do. I think he's a monster, and it's disgusting.
If nothing else, if he was a well-respected doctor still and he was a good person and they hadn't found thousands of images and videos of child pornography on his devices, this would still be wrong. I was underage. My mom had no idea this was happening. She didn't even know that these procedures were invasive or these treatments were invasive. And she was absolutely appalled when I told her that, and also when I told her that he had asked to videotape himself doing this treatment on me.
Olympic gold medalist Michaela Maroney says USA Gymnastics silenced her with a confidential financial settlement to keep her quiet about the sexual abuse she suffered by former team doctor Larry Nassar. Maroney, who agreed to the settlement in late 2016, today filing a lawsuit against USA Gymnastics, the U.S. Olympic Committee, and Michigan State University, where Nassar worked for decades.
By insisting that as a condition of paying her money for therapy and the suffering she's incurred, that she has to keep Larry Nassar secret, and she has to keep USA Gymnastics secret, and can never speak of this again, and can never criticize them, or she could be sued for $100,000 or more, is repugnant.
21-year-old Maroney broke her silence on Twitter in October, saying Nassar abused her for years, starting when she was just 13. Nassar now in prison after pleading guilty to child pornography and criminal sexual misconduct. He's being sued by more than 140 women. Maroney's suit argues the USOC and USA Gymnastics concealed its knowledge of Nassar's sexual misconduct with minor children.
In 2015, when USA Gymnastics admits that they became aware that he had molested girls, they didn't call Child Protective Services. He was allowed to stay in the treatment room and treated dozens and dozens of little girls over the next year.
USA Gymnastics said they are absolutely heartbroken, sorry, and angry that Simone Biles or any of our athletes have been harmed by the horrific acts of Nassar, adding their support is unwavering for Simone and all athletes who courageously come forward. The 54-year-old Nassar is expected to receive up to 40 years in prison for his crimes, but he is already serving 60 years behind bars following his guilty plea in December to multiple counts of possessing child pornography. It's essentially a life sentence for him.
Okay, so I need to know if the hip pain is driving the foot or if the foot is driving the hip pain. Okay, but one way or another, this whole process has been a pain in the butt at first. So we're gonna do next. Okay, that's a take.
Fucking stoned. I got a motherfucking spaceship. Oh fuck! Oh, cool. I got it.